What up, people? Welcome to the Joe McFo Show. We are continuing our work on my project over here, Shadowboxers: The Path of Light. Let me get some music playing. Let's see. I recently updated all the music in here so that we can have some new tunes because we've been living with the same stuff for like 80 streams or something like that. So hello to everyone in the chat. We're going to get started, and today we're going to be working on this page right here. So obviously I don't want to share too much about what is happening. Like I purposefully hide the text and things like that, but we're going to keep going with this page. So let me make sure the music is low enough for y'all to hear me, but loud enough for you guys to hear it. So you guys let me know in the chat how it sounds, and we will get started. I feel like I'm finally starting to get into a bit of a rhythm with the comic overall, because I basically redesigned some of the characters and things like that, and so not redesigned in the sense that it's a completely different look, but redesigned in that I am updating the page or the characters so that they have more mature designs. And honestly, I still have to figure out exactly how to do certain elements of it. But actually, part of that is this right here. I'll show you. I've been working on this Javen turnaround. So yeah, I was inking the nude form first, and then I'm gonna put clothes on him and stuff like that. But you see that starting to rotate, so I want to get it like perfectly clean so that I can have this for at least my main characters like Javen, Latana, Kayla, Zalam, Ishnu, like those Asim. Those main characters will all have this eventually. Now the background characters, even like Inzi and Cairo, I don't think I'm necessarily going to need to do that. So yeah. But for those of you guys who are watching the stream, say what's up in the chat, say hello. I promise I'm friendly, generally speaking. And so, yeah, pop in, say hi, where you watching from, and how your day has been. Hopefully it's been going well. I'm a little flustered at the moment because we decided to order a pizza, and it came 10 minutes after they said they were going to come. Probably because they had another delivery or something like that, which is understandable. But it forced us to like cough down the pizza like real quick. So like, all right, well, got to get into the stream now. So so it is what it is. All right. Now I got this for Zalam here. So the two characters that are going to be in the background are these two on the right. This is Cairo and Inzi. They are two of Javen's friends in the comic. And I kind of loosely penciled them in, but I really need to kind of figure out exactly how tall they are. So let's see. Let's remove this frame here for panel. See. Okay, and then Cairo is just about the same height, so Cairo's going to be about here, probably even going off the panel a bit. And Cairo, or not Cairo, Inzi is slightly below him, so I'm guessing I'm trying to map out their heights. It's a little challenging because of the distance and everything, but probably otherwise. I'm making this up because I don't have the exact measurement. I just kind of have to go through this. But Kathy's right. She says quiet in the chat tonight. It is quiet, but you know what? Maybe people have other stuff to do. It's totally fine. I'm still going to work on this anyway. still gonna work on it. We gonna make some progress, whether people are here or not. And sometimes that's what it's about. It's about the quiet work, oftentimes. So if it stays quiet though, then I'm gonna stop streaming, and I'm just gonna work on this without the pressure of talking and performing and all that stuff. But I'm not gonna worry about that right now. Let's see. So what did I have them doing? I forgot what they were doing. Okay, so Cairo is here. He's moving. That's that way. Then this. Trying to think about this from like a perspective angle, like how this would work properly. I think they would probably both be kind of kneeling in this, especially based on what I have in the next panel. So as long as I have the right size for their heads, should be fine. All right, so first we got, let's see, we got Enzi. We're gonna have both of them on the floor, I think. Preparing bags for their adventure for the night. Let's see. So Cairo is the one with the hat here. He's kind of the more rambunctious character. He's the loud mouth of the group. And then we have Enzi, who people on the stream have dubbed him as like the nerd of the group. Like he's the one who everyone should be making fun of him, which I don't fully understand. But you know, it is what it is. Oh shoot, we almost had a cat sighting, and now the cat's gone. All right, y'all were about to meet Hina, but she decided never mind. So it's all right. Who's the dialogue? All right, so I'm gonna have Enzi put his arm out. Amaris is here. What's up, Amaris? Hi, I'm late. It's all good. Thank you for coming on. We appreciate you. How have you been? Hopefully your week has gone well. Let's move over a bit. Now at this point, I probably could use like a 3D model or something like that. That actually might not be a bad idea. We've got backpacks strewn out here. Actually, here's that first. Oh, that's not a smart place to put it. It's going to be covered up by the backpack. And you know what? I'm just going to make the guys a tiny bit smaller, move them into the back, just so that they can fit. I'm finding out that there are some things you're just going to have to cheat if you can't get it just right. If I really decided to just like go full in and be like everything has to be exactly perfect, blah blah, like then I could do that. But there are moments where I think it's okay to cheat, especially if it's really small. Like I don't think anyone's gonna look at this and be like the scale is off by this, but like I just don't see that happening. It's possible, but hopefully that won't happen because I'm trying to consider that now. Amara says the music is great. Okay, excellent. Amara says, hi, Cat. It is lost my sketchbook, but I'm okay making a note. You lost your sketchbook? That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. I would feel so devastated if I lost something like that, or like my files got corrupted. I guess that would be the equivalent in my case, because I primarily work digitally. All right. I think it's looking all right. Yeah. Can probably make them a tiny bit bigger. Yeah, I think these are about the right size for these characters. And what's cool is I also don't have to worry about um, adding all this detail because they're meant to be in the background. They're meant to be small. So as long as I get the poses right, I should be okay. Let me tone down the background just a little bit. So we got Cairo first. He's kind of... Oh, I think we have a Hina sighting. Hold on. Oh. Let's see if she'll cooperate. That's Hina. Our little tuxie cat. Let me turn off the comments here so you can see. This is her. She's very calm for some reason. She likes to jump on my on my screen or my desk sometimes. Actually, one time she did jump on my screen and she just fell off because she didn't know any better. It was kind of funny. But it looks like she's being calm right now. I don't know what she's looking at. Hi, Hina. What's going on? So, you guys who are watching the stream, you get the first viewing of her on one of my live streams, at least. It's not the first time she's been on YouTube. If you want to check Art Prof, she's walked into the shop before. I don't know which video it was, and I don't even know if it's unlisted or not. But anyway, we're going to continue on since we already saw Hina. That's your highlight of the evening. I think that's probably what these streams should be from now on, is just, oh yeah, Jordan drawing is a side thing, but the cats is what I'm here for. So yeah. Let's see. Alrighty. Probably should have a reference for this too, but right now my goal is just to kind of approximate what I think they might look like. And I haven't updated Inzi and Cairo's looks to be more suited for the designs I was looking for, or for the design maturity that I was thinking of. So this is going to be fun. I haven't really worked on them too many times. I've been so busy worrying about Javen and Zalam because they are the main characters, and Asim too. But yeah. No, we're here for you too. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. All right. So we have him doing this. He's bending over. It's going to have that stretch of the back and some compression happening on this front side. His hat. Then I forget who's saying what lines. I might switch up that dialogue. It doesn't really matter who's saying what line. Just depends. I guess I'll see how I go about this. All right, let's switch to Inzi for a second. He's got his fro. Nice big old fro. All right, you're not going to see much of his neck. And let me tone down Zalam just a bit. Oh, wait, this is above him, so we'll see through it anyway. So Inzi is just a real thin guy. So I'm going to make him very slender. He's handing Cairo a paint can. How would you can something like that? Gotta think about it. this. Probably could toss it, but I think that'd be a little confusing. So I'm just gonna have them. There we go. You know what? Let me rotate this because that is going to be creating a tangent. So there we go. We'll do this instead. All right. Hina's like asleep now. Her eyes are just closed. I don't know why she's so sleepy. She's been doing that all day. All right. All right, let's do something interesting with his pose. Let's just, because they could both be kneeling, but I think I'm gonna have Enzi kind of doing one of these, putting his weight on one leg and one knee. I think also depends where the ground plane would be. I'm just going with what feels right. Just made a small Coptic stitch sketchbook. Oh, that is cool. I think I've made one of those before. I had a bookbinding class when I was in college, and apparently I was the only student my teacher had ever seen in 20 plus years of teaching the class where they perspired while making stuff, meaning I was so stressed out making the books that I was sweating out of nervousness. Now, I think that was probably an exaggeration on his part, but I did get very nervous. You know, whenever I'm learning something new, I often struggle sometimes, especially when it comes to things that you can't take back and things that have like a lot of materials. And bookbinding, it requires a lot of materials. You know, you gotta get the cardboard and the paper and this and that. And if you are off by a small measurement, you know, the whole thing is affected. So I have huge respect for those people who go on Instagram and they're like, I'm just gonna redo this entire book, and they do it so beautifully. Like I've seen people do it with Harry Potter or Hunger Games, and they'll basically tear off the cover and then they'll create their own like very designy version of the cover. Hardbound, they'll get the end what's the inside paper, end papers. Yeah, the end papers. And there it just looks so cool. Yes, it is, and I chose watercolor and copy paper to put in it. That's cool because I do a lot of practice sketches on copy paper and final bills with watercolors. That's awesome. Yeah, I haven't used sketchbooks in a long time just because, well, two reasons. One, they're more expensive than just me getting regular copy paper. Two, I primarily work digitally now, so it's kind of like not an immediate thing for me. And then three, since I'm left-handed, I often would either smudge the drawing because of the way it was bound, or the paper itself would smudge it because it would carry my backpack or whatever. And I'm like, man, unless I go to inks or something, this is going to be a struggle for me. So yeah, I just decided I'm not going to worry about sketchbooks, but I might go back to it. You know, maybe if I start doing more pen and ink stuff, which I am interested in. Maybe we'll see. All right. All right. So actually, it's not the right angle. So yeah, Cairo's face is going to be kind of hidden. In this pose, I think I might want to kind of figure out what's happening here with Enzi. because he doesn't feel quite right to me. So let's just go in and find a 3D model. Oh, kneeling man. That seems really good. Let's use that. Perfect. I'm actually gonna duplicate that. One for Enzi, one for Cairo, and then say Enzi 3D. I would like to think I've gotten better at using some of these tools since doing the live streams a while ago, but I don't know for sure. Okay, so he's got that, and then how do you? Need to change his whole thing. There we go. I'm always trying to figure out how to get the main thing to move, but for some reason it often eludes me. Final illustration, you're talking about rebinding. Oh, rebinding, yeah. That's it. Yeah, I'm always impressed with those guys. I haven't done a bookbinding thing in 9 years, literally. Wow, it's been 9 years. Yeah. Yeah, I was in the class 9 years ago, so it's been a minute. Speaking of making books, though, since I have you all here now, all four of you, I did want to bring up this book here, The Art of Shadowboxers, The Path of Light, which is the very first Shadowboxer sketchbook, and also my very first sketchbook in general. And it's got a lot of cool stuff in it. We have spent a lot of time, obviously, doing the drawings in the book. Like, it's a collection of stuff that I've been doing for years. And then we put it into this book, and we sold it at Lightbox, and people seem to really like it. So if you would like a copy, there is a link in the description below. You can get yourself a hard copy like this one, or you can get a digital copy of the book and just get it as a PDF or something. Also, if you sign up for the newsletter, you will get a free sample of the art book in case you are skeptical and you're not really sure. I think we probably give you about the first third of the book just for free. It goes through several character designs, I think, like Javen, Atana, I think probably up to like Kayla or something like that. There's like 4 or 5 characters in there. So if that is something that interests you, please check it out at the link down below in the description. See here. All right, we got the feet. I think we're still going to have to scale them back a little bit. And Enzi's also on the thinner side, so not that thin. Something like this. And he's not super tall, so something like that. Let's move his head. And this is more of an approximation. I'm not trying to like trace over these specifically. I do find them helpful, but I also recognize that at least the way these are built right now, I can't fully use them like to make it like 100%. I have to be kind of careful. Maybe one day I can, but for right now, I'm not doing that. Okay, so we're gonna have him turn his head, have him move up. It's gonna be facing Salam a bit. Let's rotate him a bit. Let's get that leg right. Okay, can we rotate the arm? Yeah, just the arm. One of these days, they're gonna have to come out with some sort of like action figure thing for Clip Studio where you can just mold it in your hands and then it'll reflect itself um, on the actual 3D model. Like they used to have something like that for like the PlayStation, I think. It was like the I Spy or something like that. But they had some sort of thing where it would capture your movements. It's like the Wii, sort of. But if I had that, oh, this would be so much faster. It'd be so much faster. And you know, maybe I just need to use it as a reference to look at instead of trace over. Maybe that's my problem. Yeah, gotta move this. Move. Come on. Jeez. Okay, there we go. Yeah, let's. So we're gonna move him up a bit. Yeah, I figured this leg was a little strange. I'm switch up the song right quick. Let's move it to this one. It's cool as I found my favorites in this new group of songs. So I'm like, all right. And I can play those whenever I want now. One day I'm gonna have to uh, have a commissioned Shadowboxers album, just like get someone who knows how to make beats, just have them make a whole album for the project, just for the vibes. Because I can't play copyright music, which is a shame. All right, I think my head is slightly too big. I don't even know why I'm messing with this particular portion. You won't even see it. Well, maybe if I move it around, maybe you will. You might see it actually. I'll take it back. Yeah, he's like, yes to the SB album idea, I assume. All right. Now the other thing, I need to remember how the backpacks. I know I designed them. Let me see. Oh, you know what? I think I have them in the online art book because I have the digital copy right here. So now there's another convenient reason why making the art book was a great idea, because I could just go like this now. Bam, I got the backpacks. See, right here. I just have it off on the tab to the side. Let's see. Mallet asks, do you have go-to music to play when you're working on the comic, like a soundtrack? Ooh, that's a good question. I like not necessarily soundtracks specifically. There are some that I like every once in a while. I'm a huge fan of the Tarzan soundtrack. Huge fan of the Prince of Egypt soundtrack. What else? What other movies? A Goofy movie is fun, but it's a little too hype for what I am doing, I think, oftentimes. So I have to be like in the right mood. And I also have to be prepared to not focus so much. But generally, I like lo-fi music. We will often play lo-fi kind of stuff on the speakers and just be chilling doing that. I also like the Spider-Verse albums, which is our first hydration check of the night. For those who are unaware, the hydration check system is every time someone brings up Spider-Man or Avatar, we drink water, because if it was a real drinking game with alcohol, we would all be dead. So we don't do that. Plus, it's good to hydrate. So that's the first one of the night. Mallard says, "I'm currently making a playlist that fits the mood for my comic wherever I work on. It gets me immersed." Yeah, I also have a playlist of just random songs of, whether it's Michael Jackson. Sometimes it's from random Netflix shows or something. Like On My Block has a couple of really cool songs. There's different hip hop, lo-fi songs. So just that kind of stuff. Mallard says, yes, Spider Verse album is a must. Yeah, we have three of the albums on vinyl. We have the Into Across Spider Verse, and then we have the Across the Spider Verse, like what was it? The score, I guess. So yeah, it's super epic. We also have Thriller. Got to have Thriller in there, and Diana Ross presents the Jackson Five. So I feel like that there's probably another hydration check in there because I said Spider Verse a couple times. Yeah, but yeah, I like to have music. I know some people lose focus. Actually, Richard Williams, who wrote the book The Animator Survival Kit, he often talked about kind of unplugging while working because you lose focus, and it's basically a form of multitasking, which is true. There is an element of that, and maybe one day I'll get to that place, but I'm not there yet. So until then, it's going to be me listening to music. Or sometimes I'll watch YouTube videos too on the side, just for like the sake of gaining information. Like I'll have something related to either history or like the world, or just some commentary on like social things happening. Nothing that's too heavy. Like I don't like listening to political stuff personally because it's one, it's just not my thing, and I get enough of it from my Instagram feed all the time. So I'm like, you know what? I want my time drawing to be associated with good things. So yeah. Although I do have a rule for myself that I can't watch anything animated while I'm working on my stuff. It's not because I don't like animation. It's just because I'll never get anything done. The work will stagnate if I don't do that or don't abide by that rule. All right, so I had some spray cans over here going in all different directions because that's what they do. Maybe I'll have some over here even. Getting ready for a night on the town. It's because you like animation too much. Yeah, it is. I like it too much. I like it way too much. It's a curse. It's a curse. All right. All right. I need to figure out. Now, I remember Cairo's backpack was a little strange. It's this one right here at the bottom left. It's kind of got this. I think it kind of looks like the screen meter from Monsters Inc. You guys remember that? Yeah, it was like the big yellow tube. You guys know what I'm talking about? Let me look it up for you. It was called the screen tank. What is it called? The canister. This thing. I've always thought it kind of looked like this. I found it on Pinterest. I was like, you know what? This is a cool shape for a backpack. Why not? And Cairo's the biggest of the four, at least in terms of like width. And so like, he probably carrying like the bulk of the stuff, like really heavy stuff. So yeah. Amara says, I do. I'm not you do what? I'm not sure what you're referring to. And then Mallet says, my rule that I'm working on is to not log on to Instagram until I finish my own stuff because I get FOMO. That's a great idea, actually. What I've done is I have actually made my phone set to do not disturb. I remember it. Yeah. So I set my phone to do not disturb between 9 and 5, just because it's so easy to get caught up texting people or whatever. I haven't gotten to the place where I am just like constantly checking Instagram. Well, no, let me take that back. I have gotten to that place, but lately I've been much more productive, and I don't really need those blockers quite the same. At one point, I probably did. But yeah. You know what? That's actually not the right place. I feel like he would probably have it next to one like this. And then Enzy's foot is gonna get hit with that, but I'll just move it up, just move the tangent, and then I'll slant that knee just a little bit more. Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff I watch while drawing. Like I've been working on the comic all day. Actually, I want to say since like 10 or so. I've just been working on this thing, especially because it's cold outside. I was hit with the winter storm from the last week, and so it's still freezing, and there's nowhere to really go. There's nothing to really do, and so I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna sit in and work on this stuff. Um, so I've gotten a good chance to kind of make significant progress in the comic, and that's one of the great things about me living in the location I'm in now is it's so much more quiet than Los Angeles. Because as much as I love LA, I miss the food, I miss friends and family and stuff. But man, is it hectic, you know? And it's hard to kind of get that level of peace. There's another winter storm heading towards me. Oh shoot! I am sorry to hear that. Goodness. But now it makes me want to check on the news and make sure there's not another storm. I know it's supposed to get cold again on like Saturday, but I don't know. I haven't kept up with it too much. I just realized I don't know what the back of Cairo's shirt design looks like. What shall I do? I could just match. I could just do something like this. I'm gonna remove this square pattern. I'm just gonna have it kind of do one of these. Turn this off. Yeah, it's not looking too bad. Not looking too bad. Let's try and add some of Enzy's clothes. It's basically just a cloak, honestly. It's heading, book snow. It's heading towards southeast Georgia. Oh no, I'm not familiar with that one. I haven't heard about that. I'm in Texas, so things are a little bit different for me. All right, and then what is Enzy's backpack? Enzy's got this kind of trapezoid shaped backpack that he's probably got here. And he's got his little wristwatch thing. It's actually not a watch at all. I don't know why I said that. I've been thinking of like Wrist Rocket from Stranger Things. Anyone remember the Wrist Rocket from Lucas Sinclair's custom Wrist Rocket? Pretty cool name for a slingshot, if you ask me. So Enzy's basically got like this cloak. Goes all the way down to his knee. But it's probably gonna trail a little bit. So I'm just gonna kind of fade that in like this. There we go. Strap here. I had to have my sub remade to today because of my new allergy. I felt bad for asking them to remake it without onions. Oh, that's all right. That's kind of what they're supposed to do. I think as long as you're not rude about it, then it's usually fine. Because I've worked in food service. I used to work at Jamba Juice, and I would make mistakes often. And when people were gracious, that was like the biggest thing for me. It's like, look, I'll remake it either way, but if you can be cool about it and be chill about it, then I don't mind, you know. And in some cases, depending on what is made, they might prefer that you have them remake it because some of them might sneak it behind closed doors. Even though they're not supposed to do that, but I don't know. If they know where the cameras are, they might just be sneaking that food. I'm glad to see people actually work on their IPs instead of fear mongering in this pro AI era. Oh man, we could talk about AI. you know, first off, I appreciate that. I have I have one of those personalities that can be kind of struck by fear in some way. Oh wait, hold on. Is this another cat sighting? Is Hina coming back? Hold on. Hina's back. Hello, Hina. My little cat. Y'all see her? Oh, she's got a perfect loaf. 10 out of 10. Good job. Good job. This is how we talk to them. I don't know where Yasha is. He's somewhere. Is he over there? No. We have a gray couch, and he's a gray cat. And when it's dark, I can't always tell if he's there or not. Um, my twin quit her comic because AI. And like, so here's the thing about AI. AI will definitely impact some jobs, but from what I have seen, AI as an industry is not profitable. So whenever you have a business, obviously you want to make more money than you're putting into the business. That's how you get profit. But for the last couple of years, OpenAI and all these other companies are not making money. Like OpenAI, who does ChatGPT, and some of these other companies, it's like, what is the actual use for them outside of making silly videos online? And I mean, it's fun to like laugh at, but it's one, getting to a level where it's actually genuinely creepy. And two, it's like, what is the use case for this? And when it comes to things like art, there's a certain artistic integrity that you lose. Well, actually, all artistic integrity you lose when you just rely purely on that. I don't think people want to watch things that are just remade or recycled from different concepts over and over and over again. So that's one thing. The other thing about the industry is I think it's more oversaturation, and that is the problem, than AI. Like, AI hasn't been super implemented in like animation just yet. They're talking about it. I know they're in the process of making a movie. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's I think it's called Critters. Maybe it's like It's going to be the first AI animated movie. Let me see. Is that? Yeah, this is it right here. Critters is an upcoming movie, and it's going to be, as you can see here, an animated short designed with AI. Although I thought it was going to be a feature-length film. That's what I thought. So it looks like they made a short in 2023, but I want to see about the 2026 film. Anyway, they're working on this, and I think depending on how this does is going to determine a lot about how AI is implemented in art in the future. Now, the other thing, I do think that with the current climate, it is incumbent upon artists to become entrepreneurs. Sort of like how it used to be. We have for a long time, the last century or so, relied on companies to make to be our bread and butter. But with all the layoffs, with all these things happening, like I've heard of stories of people who worked in animation and comics, games, whatever, for 30 plus years, and they're having trouble finding work. It is very first off, it's very competitive with AI taking certain jobs, which it will, because there's certain things like even concept art, like there's certain aspects of that where they'll just need less people. I don't think it means that it's going to replace everyone, but the pool is going to get smaller. So the options are either to quit or to pivot and do your own thing. And for me personally, I don't think I could live with myself if I were to just simply quit without any sort of fight. So yeah, and you think about artists. Artists generally have a hard time making a lot of money because they have to constantly be working in order to produce new stuff. Like, if you think about it from the perspective of someone who has been like, let's say like you're a Renaissance artist in the 1500s, you only get paid every time you actually do work. But nowadays we have things like courses and digital brush packs and books that people can buy. But the number one way I think people are able to make money as artists nowadays is by creating their own IP. and being able to figure out how to monetize that and grow their own audience, which I think that's going to be the new system for anyone who wants to have any sort of project get made as an animation, which is my ultimate goal personally. I wanted this to be an animated show, and I pitched it to be an animated show. And the idea is like they actually loved the idea of it, but it was wrong timing, or they had a project that was similar to it. It doesn't, I'm not sad about it at all. The fact that they didn't pick it, because now it just means like, all right, well, I got the validation, but now I don't have their money in my back pocket forcing me to make changes or anything that I don't want to. So now I can just do what I want, and that is the goal. So yes, I'm working on the IP of Shadowboxers. And Mallet, it seems like you're new. I don't recognize you. If you have been on here before, I'm sorry. Um, but yeah, if you want to check out the link in the description, there's the art book and there's the Shadowboxers website. You can see uh, what it's like. And if you also want to join the Discord community, there's a link in the description as well. It's completely free. I just realized I should probably not have him make a straight face because he's actually kind of in shock. Let me make a shocked face. I need to almost make the face like. I think I'm gonna need to Google like a scared look. Let's see. Amar says, I was telling her as long as you put in the work, you won't have to worry about AI. Yeah, that's true. I do think that there are ways to use AI in an intelligent way, just in general, but you don't have to have it be someone that takes control of what you're doing. Like, I know some artists who prefer to use it, like if they're working on a project like this, where it'll like design the background characters. Like, like if you have a crowd of 50 people, you don't want to have to sit there and design every single one. It might just spit out ideas based on your concepts. Like that, I think is fine. Personally, especially if you're training on your own stuff. But I've had people tell me like, hey, why don't you just have AI make your comic? And I'm like, dude, what's the point of that? Like, why in the world would I put all of my time and effort up to this point in my life to figure out how to draw and be a storyteller, and then suddenly just put it in a prompt just so it can be done faster? Like, there's nothing that is appealing about that to me. So yeah. Kathy says it's probably going to be harder with Enzi because his eyes are covered. Yeah, that's true too. So I'm going to have to find other ways to make him look scared. So yeah, let's see. How do we do this? Is there a character who looks like this, who has some sort of glasses I can think of? Oh, I know. Go back to. Oh wait, this is the Avatar reference. Hydrate. Trying to see if Bolin had any good reference, but another character named Vin from Jak 2. He's always like freaking out about something. So, and he has very similar goggles to what my character has. So I bet I can use him as a reference. And he's already kind of cartoony and shape based. So yeah. All right, let's try this again. I'll probably have to go into the video itself and or the game itself to see how he looks from the side, because I don't have that. But let's raise those eyebrows. Could actually probably lower the eyes just a bit, so his eyebrows aren't intersecting with his hairline. Because if your eyebrows intersect with your hairline, I'm sorry, and that's unfortunate. This is my rough ass layer, if y'all couldn't already tell. Like, it's not meant to look pretty by any means. It is meant to simply be functional / useful. in this scene, what's happening, or in this panel, um, Javen, who's the main character, this guy on the far left here, he's basically jumping in and surprising them. Like they in the previous panel, they're like, "Hey, where is he?" And they're like, "Oh, he'll be here in a second." And he jumps out of nowhere and freaks everybody out, like a little jump scare. So yeah, you could probably make his hair freak out. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, let's make his hair kind of make him look like Doc from Back to the Future a little bit. Good suggestion. It's all for the effect in the panel. Probably since his hair is two different colors, I could probably also kind of something like that. Why not, right? Just have fun. Just have fun. Now, I think I also want to scale this drawing down just a little bit, just so we could see a little bit of his shoulders. And then Cairo here. He's probably gonna like cover his face, like so let's have him cover his face like that. I wish I had experience in the animation industry, particularly Cartoon Network. I can't believe they tore the building down. I don't know if they tore the building down, but they did close it. Yeah, I wish I had experience too, in that regard. I've had two really short stints in the animation industry, one at DreamWorks, one at Netflix. But again, they were very, very short. Most of my time professionally has been in mobile games, which I hated, by the way. But that's another story for another time. But what I'm noticing is that people are starting to figure out how to do things themselves. Like I think a lot of people are like, man, this sucks. I want to be able to build my own stuff, and people are doing that. Like there's this guy on YouTube. His name is Kasim, and he is working in the animation industry. Doing what? I'm not 100% sure. I think he's I'm pretty sure. I know he's a character designer, but I don't know what company he's working for. And he's built his own animation studio. He's like, yeah, screw this. I'm gonna take matters in my own hands. And I think that's what artists need to do, just in general. I think that's the smartest move, because realistically, art and animation is actually more what's the word? It is more desired, more. You guys know what I'm trying to say. It's highly sought after more now more than ever. But the reason that things are shutting down is because the way we consume content is different. Like I saw a report that was talking about Disney, Nickelodeon, and Cartoon Network, and it was saying that all of them have their viewership has dropped significantly in the last 5-6 years, and it's because a lot of their core audience is watching stuff on their iPads and YouTube or on TikTok, and they're like, how do we compete with this? So things are changing, and I don't think these companies know how to pivot. Actually, what I have seen is these companies are starting to post more to their own YouTube channels in the hopes of catching someone. But there was a video I saw of this kid. He was talking to some NBA player, and the NBA player was talking about, hey, you ever heard of this show and this show? And the kid's like, no. And he's like, wait, you never heard of? You don't watch cartoons? He's like, what's a cartoon? Is cartoon this? Like, he didn't know what a cartoon was, and so. The things are really, really changing significantly, and I don't think anyone's figured out quite how to pivot yet. So, yeah, it's really unfortunate how things are. And as far as Cartoon Network goes, it seems like the only shows that they have going for them right now are reruns of Teen Titans Go. I know they have Ianu out, which is so strange to me because. Like that's the only show coming out of Cartoon Network that I can think of right now. But Cartoon Network doesn't quite exist the same way anymore, so it's kind of confusing. Okay, this head is too big, I think. Something's up with this body. But yeah, they have those two. I know they're doing like a revival of Amazing World of Gumball and something else. But generally, it's it's not quite as popular anymore. I can't name a single show that's on Nickelodeon's roster anymore. Um, Poor Gen Alpha will never experience those good old days of Disney Channel, Nickelodeon. Yeah, it's so sad. It's so sad. Nickelodeon was my childhood. SpongeBob, Avatar, another hydration check. SpongeBob, Fairly Odd Parents, Danny Phantom, My Life as a Teenage Robot, The X's. Um, what I mean, Hey Arnold, Rugrats, all those shows. I love them. Even the shows like Invader Zim. I love Invader Zim. I have the art book in my shelf somewhere. My wife and I, we watched it for while eating dinner yesterday. Like that's just what we do. So yeah, it's sad that they won't get to see that, and I don't know what animation is going to look like in the future. Like there's this guy who has a channel called Surviving Animation. His name is Eric Calderon, and he basically is like, yeah, I don't know what is going to happen with this. Um, so um, yeah, it's pretty scary looking. Um, yeah, I'm looking at this and I'm realizing I think Inzi would be the one to put his arm up in fear like that, not Cairo. I might switch these characters out. Like the drawings themselves are fine, but I think I chose the wrong character. So we're gonna flip this. Yeah, I already feel better about this. So that's all right. That's what this time is for. Um, Maybe I should actually pull a 3 model out too. We'll see. My dad's a rock star, Angry Beavers. I remember Angry Beavers. My dad is a rock star. I don't know if I remember that show. Let me see. My dad, the rock star. Oh my gosh. I do remember this show. Oh wow. I haven't thought about this since it came out. When did this come out? I don't even remember anymore. I'm usually pretty good with dates. Okay, so wow, so it only lasted like 9 months or something? 2003, 2004. Yeah, they only got picked up for a single season. Created by Gene Simmons. Okay. Who's from the band Kiss. Makes sense. Makes sense. Wow. Yeah, you brought me back with that one, Amaris. I remember watching this and enjoying it, but I guess I just completely forgot about it because they only had a single season. That is crazy. Are there any more blasts from the past you guys can think of that are just like really obscure? Trying to remember now. As Told by Ginger. Yep, As Told by Ginger was a good one. I think that's the same studio that did Rugrats, Klasky Supo. Kids are missing that safe space that shows healthy families and friendships, etc. I'm sure your comic will help fill that void. I appreciate that, and I'm trying to. Like, there is a lot of darkness in media nowadays. Like there's a lot, like even in indie projects, like for some reason everyone is like a murderer or a demon or something like that, and I'm just not into that stuff. I never have been. And so I want to create something that's more hopeful, something that, I mean, there's going to be elements in it that are definitely sad, but the point of it is not to make people depressed, or have this heaviness. I would prefer to have something that's more like escapist in a sense, and I actually love those kinds of shows that shows and books and things that are like that, but we don't have enough of them anymore. Braceface. I remember Braceface. Proud Family. Yeah, that's a good one. Buzz on Maggie. Buzz on Maggie. Now, I don't know. Do I know Buzz on Maggie? I recognize her, but I've never seen the show. When did this come out? 2005, 2006. This was around the time we didn't have cable anymore, so I don't think I ever watched this one. What was the other one that I just saw? Brace Face. I think I remember. Was it the blonde girl? Yes, I remember. I remember her. I don't think I got into the show very much, but I do remember seeing it. That show is probably not very PC though. Just the title Brace Face. I'm sure you'd have people coming after you for that one. Talking about can't insult people with braces by having a title called Brace Face. American Dragon. I assume that's Jake Long. Yep. I didn't watch that one too much. I watch Nickelodeon more than Disney, but I am familiar with some of these shows. Dave the Barbarian. I do remember that. It only came on like super late at night, or early in the morning, like 4 or 5 o'clock or something. Um, Maybe I'll just have his hat come off here. And then- Hi, hi, Puffy Amiyumi. Oh, I don't know that one either. Y'all are really throwing out some obscure ones. This is very impressive. It's like you guys were prepared for this. Puffy Amiyumi. No, I don't know this one. 1995 from Japan. Oh, so it's an anime? Wait, maybe I do recognize these characters. Yeah, I don't know. But clearly they were popular enough to get a Game Boy game. I miss those days. Game Boy Advance. Kathy remembers that one. Oh man, I'm out of the loop. Cartoon Network was my main. Nick was my second. Disney's what I watched when nothing was on. You know what? I kind of relate to that. I didn't really watch a lot of Disney animated shows, ironically. Um, I think Nickelodeon was a little bit more edgy. But I also liked games at the time. Like I had first off, I only played like a couple of video games, but I played those quite a lot. So when I didn't have cable, that was my safe space, if you will. Here we go. Yeah, this feels closer to the characters. And now I can just like give them bug eyes. Like that. I think Inzy's gonna be a little smaller. I did not anticipate spending all this time on Enzy and Cairo today, but that's okay. They are important to the comic. They need to get done. And I need to practice drawing them anyway. I had Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Micro. What is a Game Boy Micro? I have never heard of that. I had a Game Boy Advance and Game Boy SP, but the Game Boy Micro? Has anyone else heard of that? Whoa. I never seen this before. Did they like put these in Burger King kids toys or kids sections or kids meals? It looks like something they would do. I've never seen this. This is actually a really cool shape. Yeah, no, I just remember the Game Boy SP was like the first device that had backlighting, and that was so cool. And it was adjustable. Like you can either have it where it was on or off. And I remember always keeping it on because I was like, "What's the point?" Because before that, it was just the screen, and then you would have to get an additional light. You have to purchase the light separate. Um, and Yeah, those were the days. Those were the days. All right, so I think I'm more satisfied with that. So I'm gonna just get rid of that layer, and then Javen, you're gonna have our boy. I think he could actually potentially be silhouetted here. I don't think I have to do a whole lot with this face, but the pose he's gonna be doing. Let's see. Um, I feel like he needs something where he's like jumping off a trampoline, like that's the type of pose. Um, Almost something like this, or even a parkour jump would work too. Maybe that's probably more appropriate. I barely had a cable or internet until late high school. It drove me to draw my own stories that I wish I could watch on TV. This setback was a blessing in disguise. Oh man, yeah, that's true. That would be a blessing in disguise, especially if you're an artistic kid. Yeah. Yeah, it actually amazed me like how many people I went to school with who had no desire to create their own projects. They were just like, I just want to work on other people's stuff. And I'm like, okay, but why not? Why not get all the skills? And yeah, I don't know if those people still agree with that line of thinking, but you know, I was never one to be like, yeah, I just want to work on other people's stuff. Because for me, if I'm being honest, I have a hard time enjoying working on other people's projects if I don't genuinely care about it. Like I would have to, like some of the stuff that I would call out for a hydration check, it would have to be one of those projects for me to like really be interested. So yeah. Kathy says I didn't have cable for a really long time too. Now I just don't understand a lot of Jordan's TV show references. But we're learning. We're learning though. We're rewatching old stuff. Like I mentioned a Goofy movie earlier, and we just watched that for the first time a few months ago, and now we make tons of Goofy movie references. It's fantastic. Highly recommend if you haven't seen that movie. This kind of seems like something. Like this is close. I'm trying to find the right pose that this character would do while also finding it at the right angle. This is pretty close. It's a little too boring as far as silhouette goes. Man, these people who do parkour are so insane. I'm actually kind of jealous, in a sense. Not that I want to do all the death-defying stunts, but their agility is so cool. Like just seeing what the humans are even capable of. Ooh, this is kind of cool. I like this pose. Great silhouette. Let's try it. And I'm going to be a little bit lazy. And I'm just going to not quite trace over it, but kind of. All right. So let's see. Yeah. Let's see. If my grids were to be like that's not doing here. Gotta do a makeshift grid sometimes. You know what I mean? Gotta do it. Let me also get rid of all that. Put this on multiply. And we don't need that little stock photo reminder. Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. This will do. This will do. I would write a comic, but I'm not a strong writer. I write myself in a corner. I'm going to address that, but I'm not. Don't let me forget. I'm going to address that. Mallory says, I like how humble you are to just find the references for a pose. My ego would have had me on that panel forever. You know what? I appreciate that. Part of it is just because the story I want to tell is already going to take so long. And it's like, why have shame finding a reference? Like every artist I know uses reference. Actually, there are professional artists who you probably look up to who do the same thing that I just did. So we just don't talk about it. But in my case, I'm not I'm just getting the reference for silhouette of the pose. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here, so why not just take what's available? But Amaris, you said I would write a comic, but I'm not a strong writer. Uh, I had to teach myself to write. Um, I didn't start out knowing how to do it. It's not natural to me. Like, first of all, I am more naturally an artist than a writer, and I think there's still a lot of things about my art that can improve. I won't go through the long list of them, but if you're around me long enough, you'll find out what they are very quickly. Um, and some of them I've even brought up here. But when it comes to writing, you just have to be open. I actually think it's kind of a good thing because if you don't have any specific expectations, then you can just allow yourself to be creative. So I'll tell you the system I used in order to create. First of all, I analyzed things that I already liked. There's actually a video up on my channel. It's a short where I talk about like how to create something that's really like awesome. And my system was I took my favorite projects, and I'm already going to get that hydration check in. So I'm gonna bring it up right now. Avatar, Harry Potter, which I don't care for anymore, but I was a huge fan of it. Spider-Man series, Jack and Daxter. What else? Those are my favorite things growing up. And even nowadays, I can include things like Stranger Things. I can include Breaking Bad. I can include, all this stuff, right? Analyze exactly what it is that you like about those things, meaning what elements, like something that you could easily take from them. For example, with Breaking Bad, you may not be trying to write for an audience that's mature like that show is for, but maybe you are attracted to the character of Walter White, like seeing this character go from good to bad. That is often the case for a lot of people. Like maybe you're just interested in that aspect, or maybe you're interested in kids going on an adventure, or maybe it is kids being in a school setting, or whatever it is. You can take that and build off of it. And then you can use a website like TV Tropes, which is one of my favorites, and just simply learn about the craft of writing. And I say TV Tropes because it will often use things that we are familiar with as an example. So let's say like the term MacGuffin. MacGuffin in a film or a story is basically an object that the characters are going after. Hold on, I got pause ads, I guess. So it's something that the characters are going after. In Indiana Jones, it's the Ark of the Covenant or the Holy Grail or the stones or whatever. Shadowboxers has a MacGuffin in it. And you read the article here, and then at the very bottom, it'll give you examples from all this stuff like mythology, games, tabletop games, theater, original web series, films. Let's look at films. Klaus 2019, you have an example of a MacGuffin. So if you learn like the craft of writing, which I think is already innate in us because we are naturally storytellers, you will start to improve. And you can go as slow as you want to. You don't have to create the next big blockbuster, and honestly no one's making blockbusters anymore that don't cost the same amount as the profit. But yeah, just take it slow and just trust that you're going to be able to create something that is worth your while. And honestly, with Shadowboxers, I'm creating something that I like. It just so happens that other people seem to like it too. Even though I haven't put out any like real story stuff yet, I've actually found it fascinating how many people continue to stay with me on these streams occasionally, or how many people are like, oh, let me get the book. And even though there's not a chapter out yet. And that is actually super encouraging, because for me it's like, oh, that means that there is something here. There's something even in this preliminary stage that people are resonating with, and it gives me encouragement. And I've worked with writers in the past and currently, And I talked to them about the overall plan for the project, and they're like, you know what, this will be amazing. This is going to be great. So that is also super encouraging for me to keep going. So yeah, I say all that to say, try not to sell yourself short, Amaris. Um, Writing yourself into a corner is actually, I won't say it's easily fixable, but it is fixable. And the best writers can do it regardless of the situation. Like in Breaking Bad, those writers, they were shooting at the hip every single season. Like they didn't have um any plan going into it. They just like, well, we're at this season, and they planned the season out, and they would just write. Other projects run into problems because they don't think about things early enough, and they're not able to get past certain elements. Stranger Things ran into that, where a lot of people are complaining that certain characters, certain elements of the story clearly were afterthoughts, and it doesn't make sense, or there's a lot of retcons. Uh, a recommendation that I would have for you, if you decide to write a story, or for anyone who's writing a story, is to try to write backwards, meaning figure out your ending, figure out where you want your characters to be by the end of the project or the series or the film, and then work your way to the beginning, right? So if I'm saying, like, let's say Shadowboxers, for example, if I want Javen to be this super powerful light bearer and use all these abilities and stuff like that, then I have to start him off somewhere where at a place where he's either powerful with potential or just weak in all areas with his powers or something. And I have to do the same thing with the side characters, because what makes certain shows so satisfying is when all the arcs end at the right moment. Um, like, like there are certain shows where that just keep going on and on and on forever, and you lose a lot of people that way because the arcs are finished and you have nothing. There's nothing for them to do anymore. Like one, like I brought up Stranger Things. One of the complaints about Stranger Things is the character Jonathan has had nothing to do since season two. After season two, he's kind of just there and doesn't really contribute much. Same thing with Mike in Stranger Things. Like he doesn't have a whole lot to do after Elle and him have that relationship. So in these seasons 3 and 4, he kind of got nerfed. Will is another big example. He did the first season; it was all about him, but he was hardly in it. Season two it had a lot with him, and that was good. But 3 and 4, he basically did nothing. And then season 5, he comes back, he's swinging. So to avoid that, you can write backwards and figure out how to achieve these goals in your writing without messing anything up and writing yourself into a corner, as you so mentioned that you were afraid of. Mallard says finding movies and shows that suck and figuring out how you'd improve it is a good trick for writing. Yes, that is true too. Like people, it's fascinating how many people are on YouTube who are not professional writers, but they come up with alternate theories or ways to improve stories for these shows that had a disappointing season or an ending, and they just make it so much better. So it's out there, and there's tons of YouTubers that I would recommend watching. The Closer Look is a really good channel. Hello Future Me is a great one. This guy Tyler Mowry had a channel that was really good. I think he's pivoted from talking about writing advice. Now it's kind of like his personal takes on stuff. But if you go look at his old videos when he was talking about writing, they were very, very solid. So yeah, finding flaws in movies and shows and figuring out how you'd improve it is a good trick for writing. Oh, that was the same message twice. Yeah. So yeah, figuring out the flaw, figuring out what's wrong with this thing is excellent, because what you're doing is analyzing. And I'll tell you, the mark of a good artist or an artist who's improving is someone who can analyze, someone who can do self-critique. They can look at their work and be like, oh, that's wrong, or oh, that's great. So if you can figure that out, then that's excellent for you as a creative, because it just means that you have a strong eye and you're growing. If you do not have that ability, then you're going to stagnate. So yeah, being able to find flaws, And literally just take the stuff that you already like and work with that. So again, this is not me saying that you should or should not create a project of your own, but I don't want it to be because of fear. Um I really don't think that that's a good system because you never know. You could have the next Batman in your head, but you would never know if you don't give it a try. And it's something uh, that I think is really it's really important to make sure I get that message across to my fellow artists. So yeah. Oh my goodness, I got a lot of text messages. Yeah. People are trying to reach out to me. Apparently, I'm like, I'm streaming, guys. I'm streaming. Chill out. All right, let's see. So yeah, I made a couple of changes, but I think I might revert back to what I was sketching out because I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you like the pose in the photo, or do you like this change here, where his leg is kind of more down? I'm very curious to know what you guys think. And it's tricky too because my character's body is smaller than this character's, so or this person's. So got to make these types of decisions. And you know what actually might be cool is if I have them like stick out a little bit, I might have them like jump into the panel. I think that'd be kind of cool. I guess. All right. I need to find out how his feet are doing this. Okay, we're definitely seeing the bottom of the feet, so yeah, let me make sure I capture that. Nope, wrong layer. I also think Javen's chest is probably a little too broad here. So Mallard, I believe you mentioned it before, but I'm curious. You said you're working on your own comics, your own stories, and things like that. It's really cool. Do you have a certain genre that you're working in? Is it like an action project or romance or sci-fi, mystery? I'm very curious. Don't share whatever you're not comfortable with sharing, but since you are a fellow artist, I always like to ask. I always like to ask these things. Let's have the arms bent just a little bit. And like, hi. He's like, what's up, y'all? Jumping in here. So that is thigh here. And we'll pull this up like that. And I believe this leg is a little on the small side, so let's bring that in. Maybe I will just keep the legs as they were. There's nothing wrong with that pose. get that stretch and that compressed side right here. In fact, even with the chin, it's gonna be the underside right there. Get his ears. All right, it's looking pretty good. I do a slightly cleaner version, and I'm going to try and add some of the clothes on top of it. My comic is fantasy adventure. Think Flapjack meets Adventure Time. Oh, that's fun. That's really fun. I like that. Well, I'll tell you what, Mallard. I mentioned the Discord earlier. I don't know if you joined since being on the stream, but there's a link in the description. And I believe we have a channel called Artwork Share. If you want to share your work, if you're posting it, if you're currently making it, feel free. Feel free. That is what it is for. Let me double check and make sure that I do have that channel, because I don't want to tell you something. Have your hopes up. We do. Okay, we do have an Artwork Share folder. So if you are curious to, or not curious, but if you're so inclined to share with the people in the Discord, feel free. Pretty much everyone in there is an artist, so you should feel right at home. Actually, can't think of anyone in there who is not an artist. Maybe one person potentially, maybe. For sure. Awesome. Cool. See you in there. All right. So Javen is a little bit on the slim side, so we'll make sure that I cover that. And because we're seeing him from underneath, there's going to be a little bit of foreshortening with the body, where the landmarks of the body are. So like the belly button is going to be a different distance away than I normally would have it. Bottom of the crotch is technically here, even though the legs will come out this way, because this is like under him. If it were like a cube or a rectangle, it would be kind of like this. All right, so we're seeing this underside of him right here. That's what that is. Then my turnaround will tell me how to do his legs. Let's get a nice pointy knee right there. Gotta love the pointy knees. Let's move this up a little bit. Does your Mallard, does your project have a title to it? Or are you still working that out? I love the angularity. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's something I've been really trying to do. So actually, since you're here, and since you brought that up, that's kind of what I meant when I was saying I wanted to update the designs earlier. You may or may not have been on for that. But this is the initial design for Javen right here. And I think I kept the look the same, like he's wearing the same clothes, but I've tried to make it a little bit more angled. Here's him with the clothing. And actually, here's an example of him fully colored and everything. This is on our poster / postcard. And just to make it feel more edgy. So you said reminds me of Rise of TMNT and Avatar: Last Airbender. Oh, you said the words again. Another hydration check. What are we on 6 tonight? We're hydrated. Excellent. First off, thank you. I appreciate that. My biggest inspirations are Avatar, definitely Across the Spider-Verse, definitely Young Justice, Rise of TMNT. There's a lot of Ninja Turtles stuff, so I just want to make sure I'm getting the right one. I think that's the one I really like the look of. Yeah, this one. I love the look of this. There's I've never actually watched the show, but I've seen clips and I'm like, this is so sick. I love the vibrant colors. I love how edgy it feels. Every turtle feels totally different, which is I think a mistake that some of the earlier iterations had. But this one, and then also the Mutant Mayhem movie, TMNT Mutant Mayhem movie, I really liked how they were emphasizing those aspects. So, so yeah, I'm trying to get into the angled anatomy look because it's so fun to me. Okay, how am I gonna do? Okay, we're gonna see just a little bit of the underside. Oh, the cat's getting up. Hold on. Y'all see her? Little Hina. Yeah, do you like my drawing? Is it cool? That's her way of saying yes. That's her approval right there. Maybe that's why she jumps on my desk sometimes. Maybe she's trying to tell me I'm doing it wrong. And when she just sits back quietly, that's her approval. I think that's a pretty fair theory to work with. All right. This is looking good here. And then let's just get that last foot. Well, second foot. I don't know if that last foot sounds kind of weird. It sounds like he's got multiple limbs that we don't have. All right. There we go. Oh, he's looking sharp. Looking sharp. I love it. I love it. I love it. I am vibing with this right now. This is also why I have this character turnaround of like the new body up on the side so that I can mimic these shapes. Now, what's tricky is he does have a jacket, like a baggy jacket on top, which kind of sometimes makes me lose the shape a bit. So I'm still trying to figure out how to best communicate that, but I think that's going to come with time. I don't know if that's something I can really force, or I could probably get an opinion from some other character designers who have done similar things. Like look at Naruto characters, and I don't even watch Naruto, but there's a way that they draw him, even though he's wearing baggy clothes, that it still feels edgy. So maybe I just gotta learn it. People slept on Rise. It was way before its time. Oh, I bet it looks super cool. I didn't even know about it until after it had finished airing. I think part of it is because I was in school at the time and I wasn't really watching stuff like that. Like Netflix, that still exists. That little company. I thought they just sent out DVDs. Nope. Suddenly they took over the whole industry. That's kind of what it felt like. Okay, I think Javen could have a little fist right here. Stylistically speaking, oh yeah, it was way ahead of its time stylistically. All right. Oh, his hair. He's gonna need that. I do not want a bald protagonist, at least this time. Bald protagonists exist. Walter White is one of them, and he's real cool. Well, entertaining. I'll say he's entertaining. I would not want to have a Walter White in my life, actually. That actually sounds terrible. But he is very entertaining. Okay. Let's tone down these jaws just a little bit. Javen is a 15-year-old boy with the alpha male Giga Chad jaw. I'm not trying to have that. All right. There we go. And then let's get that rib cage. All right. All right. So in this panel, got to figure out the clothing. So let me get rid of all these other things here. You know what? I just realized his neck is too long. Let me shrink that a little. Starting to lose the illusion there. There we go. That feels a little better. And maybe have it move to the side a little bit. Since he's moving one way. There we go. All right, looking at his legs. I think I can make it a little bit more clear that this is in front. I could probably also enlarge this here. Whoop, why did it delete? I didn't tell you to delete. Come back. Actually, you know what? I think I need some more foreshortening. So let me actually cut this. We'll move this over. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Some of this stuff doesn't even matter. Like, I'm making his pecs smaller, even though we're not even going to see them. But I don't know, something about having. I draw the character with the nude frame first before putting on the clothes, and it just makes me feel more comfortable and confident when I have that settled before I start adding clothes on top. I wish I had the patience of doing my comic in Clip Studio. It's just too much going on with the interface. Well, it's customizable. You can change it to be whatever you want. What program do you use? Do you use Procreate? Do you use Photoshop? What do you use for your project? Stretch out my hands just for a second. I haven't drawn for like 6 hours straight. So yeah, guys, take a 30-second break. But yeah, Clip Studio, I was resistant. You could actually see me learn Clip Studio throughout these live streams. And I think the first couple I was using Photoshop. And Megan, who's not on the stream right now, was like, you should probably use Clip Studio. And now that I've been using it for a year or two, I totally understand what she meant. It is so much better for creating comics. Even animation, I think, is really good. Procreate is great. I love Procreate, but it is too limited, and it certainly doesn't have all the functions that this has. Photoshop, okay, you're using Photoshop. Photoshop is a great tool, but it is expensive. That's the one thing about it. And if you get it on like from your job or a school program or whatever, use it. But there are certain things that Photoshop does not have that Clip Studio does. I hate paying that $20 a month, but I like my stuff in order. So here's what I recommend. I highly recommend at least doing like a trial Clip Studio Paint, because there's certain things that Photoshop just doesn't do. Like perspective tools in Clip Studio is so strong compared to, I don't even think Photoshop has that. And the thing with Photoshop is it's a photo editing app that was basically turned into a drawing app because artists had no other real options. But there are so many things in Clip Studio that are great because it was designed for artists. So that's a whole different thing, and you can download all these all these backgrounds, 3D models, brushes, all this stuff. It's great. The other thing I recommend is what I did was I actually made the shortcuts in my interface as similar as I could to Photoshop. So like all the all the shortcuts that I have in Photoshop is in Clip Studio Paint. I just converted them over, and I was like, it's gonna be faster if I already do that. I have Clip Studio already. I just use it for the lasso tool. Oh, no, they have a lasso tool in Photoshop too. What's so much better about the Clip Studio one? I'm curious now. Blep Blop says, Jordan, it's been a while since I've seen you live. Hey, I'm sorry, I don't remember who this is. You might have to help me out. But thank you for coming on the streams. Yes, I took a long break. I was off streams for like a year and a half. I had some important life stuff to do, but as of I think 2 weeks ago, I am back. So every Sunday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, I will be streaming, working on Shadowboxers mostly. Occasionally, I might do a stream where I'm like figure drawing or something like that. So yeah, my name is different. It's Neil. Oh, what's up, Neil? How you doing? Man, I haven't seen you in the Discord in a long time either. So happy to have you come on. I'll have to tell Clara that you jumped into the live. How has life been for you, buddy? Yeah, but yeah, I highly recommend getting used to Clip Studio Paint because that $20 a month for Photoshop adds up. And I like the fact that I can just live with my Clip Studio and I know it's going to be here in the morning. Like, I know I'm not going to get some email saying you owe us. And, you know, like, I don't fear that. So that to me is worth it. The CSP lasso fill tool is Omega. Oh yeah, the lasso fill is great. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's already faster. Coloring on Clip Studio is way faster. Doing perspective stuff, 3D models is easier. Although I think you can do it in Photoshop. I just don't know how. Yeah. And you know what I found out recently is like just how many Japanese studios use Clip Studio Paint, like anime studios. They all use it. It's like the best software for them, and it makes sense. It makes total sense. I actually don't understand why American studios have not picked up on Clip Studio Paint, and it might be because I think it's more customizable than Photoshop is. I think Photoshop is very standard. You could just pick it up and go, but Clip Studio, you kind of have to have your own setup. But I think it'd be way more worth it to just use that, unless they're working in other Adobe projects, like or softwares. Like they might have After Effects, they might have Premiere, all these things here. So yeah, my laptop was broken for a long while, so I mostly did traditional. I'm too lazy to take pics of the trad art, so I just didn't post it. But I finally have a new laptop. I'm painting on it now. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm glad that you got that all sorted out. Yeah, we are back with the lives. Back with the lives. But Mally, there's actually you just made me think about something. You talked earlier about the style and the angularity. Before I like revamped this this comic, I literally made a document of like 10 of my favorite artists, and I analyzed every single one of their styles. Like I was like, oh, this one's more angular here, this one does this, and I started basically ripping off of all of them and then added my own flair. And I'm trying to still develop the look that I want. I think I definitely have something that is special, but I can't. It's hard to replicate right now just because I'm still trying to figure it out. But I know in time that it will come, so I'm not worried about it. But yeah, that's kind of been my process lately. Now it says, in TBH, for artists who draw in a more streamlined Western style, the brushes work against you. Are you referring to Photoshop? You might be. Bleblop, just making one-off paintings, so Photoshop is good enough for me. I do agree perspective sucks on it, so I use Krita for my perspective drawings. Okay, that's fair. I forgot. I honestly forget about Krita because I never use it. Mark, I believe, uses Krita, but he's not on the stream today. Probably because it's like 4 o'clock in the morning for him because he's watching. He watches the streams from like Kenya, so yeah, he might watch the replay. In which case, what's up, Mark? You are on. Okay. Referring to Clip Studio. That's interesting. The artists who draw in a more streamlined Western style. Tell me how the brushes work against you. I haven't heard that before. Like usually the complaint I hear about from Clip Studio that I hear is that it's just too complicated to get into because the UI interface is a lot. And admittedly, that is true. I think it can be pretty overwhelming when first looking at it, and that's definitely what intimidated me a lot. I was like, "Where is this?" And learning a new program kind of sucks, honestly. Like, it's not a fun experience, but I do think it was worth it in the long run. Now, next up, I have to learn Blender. That's the one that I'm really terrified of. That thing, oh my gosh. I'm not even sure how to describe it. I know it's so useful and there's so much I could do with it, but my goodness, does it not look terrifying? All right, so let's get these shoes in the right angle here. Drawing through the shapes. Gotta remember that fundamental practice right there. Draw through, draw through. The brush flicks even if you take off the taper or something like a nib. Wait, the brush flicks even if you take. I'm not sure what you're referring to, actually. That might be your settings. I don't know. Have other people complained about this specific issue? I'm not really sure. Makes your lines too crisp. Oh, I see. Well, I think that's if you use the default brushes, though. Like this brush I'm using now is not native to Clip Studio. Like it's my own. Well, okay. Let me be fair. Someone gave me this brush, but it's a custom brush. So yeah. But I'm pretty sure you can make messier brushes. But when you say Western style, are you referring to like things like SpongeBob and like super cartoony stuff? Or are you referring to like edgy DC Frank Miller type stuff? Because I think if you're referring to that stuff, that Clip Studio would actually be more of an asset because it has all the manga tools, which is virtually very similar to what those comic companies done. Have you tried Clip Studio on the iPad? I have, and it's a little weird, admittedly. I think it's partially because I need some more time with it. The reason I got it on there too was because when I would travel, I would have to have my work with me, but I worked on my Cintiq and I primarily worked in Photoshop. So what I would do is I would transfer my Photoshop files to Clip Studio, and then I would take it on the go with me and everything. But it's a lot less intuitive than I would like. I actually prefer to just draw in Procreate if I'm using my iPad personally. But in that case, with the stuff I was doing, it was the files were really big, so I couldn't really use Procreate for that. Cartoony stuff. I don't know. I guess I have to think about that. If I find it frustrating, I'm sure there was a point where I did, but I might be past that point now. All right, we got a couple more minutes left in the stream. See if we can at least get through this sketch here. Now, Javen, his face doesn't need to be super detailed because I mean, look how small he is. So I think I could just get away with having a symbol for the eyes right here, and just big old smile, big old grin. I've done the style studies as well. I got a PureRef file of my favorite artists that I refer to when I draw. I think that's a great idea right there. Yeah, when I was I actually teach a class where we talk about how to do different styles, and so yeah, I definitely think that's important to study other artists. There's a book I have called Masters of Anatomy that I highly recommend. It's got dozens of artists in their styles, and they all have turnarounds, and you could really like pick apart how they draw anatomy. And it's a really, really good book. I want to see if I can find it. I'll share it on my screen. Let me see. Yeah, so this is the Masters of Anatomy right here. Oh, dang, they have 75% off ebooks. I might take advantage of that. Wow. Hold on. $29. I just might. I might take advantage of this. This is a great deal. But their books. Which books do I have? Okay, book 13, How to Draw Clothing in Body Language. That's great. This is the one I have right here. Wait, is it? The cover looks slightly different, but book 7.5. It's 5 books in one. Yeah, I think this one is it. But it has all these action poses with 7,000 unique images here. And the book, I kid you not, it's like 800 pages. It is crazy. But at the beginning of the book, they have all these turnarounds of artists and drawing in their own unique style. I think it's this one right here. Yeah, like Phil Barrasso, who's one of my personal favorites. He's one of the artists that I studied. I took a lot of inspiration from him, but you can see how he draws his style, and you can basically like trace it out, or figure it out here. One of my good friends and mentors is in this book too. I wonder if I don't see his name. Hold on, let me search his name. Yep, here it is, Michael Buffington Jr. There he is. So his work is dope. Go check him out. He's actually the one who made this song, believe it or not. But yeah, I highly, highly recommend this. By the way, while I have everyone on here, I just want to show this page because Mallard, I know that I don't remember you being here before, and Neil, I know it's been a while for you, but I want to show you guys we have a new and improved Shadowboxers website. So it's shadow-boxers.com, and here you can find a couple of tidbits about the story. You can see the other characters. So the comic that I'm working on only has 3 of these characters in it. It's got Javen, it's got Asim, and it's got Zalam in it. These other characters don't even appear just yet because this is more of a one-shot, like something just to kind of get my feet wet with telling the story. Something it's canon, but it's like before episode 1. So yeah, if you want to see that, we also have our concept art gallery, including fan art. We have a couple of other little bits about the world. Obviously, there's me as the creator, but we also have a Discord community that is completely free if you want to join, where you can post fan art, you can talk about art stuff, writing related stuff, all the above. And then we also have this Become a Member, which is the same thing as the Support Us section, where if you decide that you want to support Shadowboxers financially in some way, you can either give to the tip jar or you can join the dojo. And you can think of this dojo as like Patreon tiers, except I am cutting Patreon out just because I want to have everything kind of centralized. And I think that this will be better in the long run. So yeah, if you get the Become a Member, which is the same thing as the Support Us section, where if you decide that you want to support Shadowboxers financially in some way, you can either give to the tip jar or you can join the dojo. And you can think of this dojo as like Patreon tiers, except I am cutting Patreon out just because I want to have everything kind of centralized. And I think that this will be better in the long run. So get into the dojo, you get some of these perks, and then again the tip jar. And then the other cool part is we have this shop. So we have a bunch of cool merch. We have t-shirts, hats, AirPod cases, some sketchbooks, water bottles. My favorite though is the very first thing you see here, and this is actually the Shadowboxers art book. So you see it right here. The color's a little off because the calibration, but it is the very first Shadowboxer sketchbook, and it has artwork in it, some of which I've done on the stream, some have never been seen before, and it's just kind of talking about the world that has been built. And it even has art in here from the early development stage before I ever did anything on YouTube or made an Instagram page for it or anything like that. And I sign every copy that I sell. So if you're interested in that, then please get one of these books. We have digital and print copies available. So I wanted to share that before the stream ended, just in case y'all are curious. So again, the website is shadow-boxers.com if you are interested in the project. And I'll also say this: if you scroll to the bottom of the page, you can sign up for the newsletter, and you'll actually get a free copy of a sample of the art book. Like the first third of the book is completely free if you sign up for it. So if you are so inclined and so interested, then that can be for you. So yeah, just wanted to make that quick announcement while we only got a couple minutes left. But yeah, so we made it was slow progress, but it was necessary progress. We basically worked on these two panels. So and I like how it's coming out. I really do. The comic itself is growing. I'm mostly working on penciling right now at this stage. But you guys can kind of see like all the stuff that has been done for it. So inking is going to be the next phase for sure. Once I pencil the entire book, after I pencil, then I'm just going to do like one last read through. I'm going to double check it with a couple of people, some artists that I really admire, and just see if they have recommendations for changing up a panel or something like that, or something that I can do to make it cleaner. And then I'll move to the inking. Obviously, I will be streaming that. And then the coloring, I'm not sure if I'll do that on stream. I'll see, because I think Megan is going to be the one primarily coloring. So if she is doing that, then maybe we can do something where both of us are on stream at the same time. Not really sure how that's going to work just yet, but nevertheless. So yeah, this project is definitely going, and behind the scenes, I am working on the rest of the story. I'm actually reworking the very first script, and I have a solid outline. I just gotta, work on script stuff for it. So Shadowboxers is coming, guys. It's coming. I know it's been a long time, but it is not a dead project by any means. So yeah, I appreciate you guys coming on to the live stream. You guys couldn't be doing anything else with your Thursday evening, or in Neil's case, where you are, it's probably more like Friday morning. So yeah, gotta check it out. Yes, I gotta get one. Yeah, I appreciate you guys' support. I really do. So anyway, y'all, that has been our stream for the evening. I appreciate you guys coming on. Again, join the Discord, check out the website. I will be streaming again Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Until then, I'll see you next time. Peace.